Time Rift against a green enemy. Animus, because when triggered, he doesn't take damage for 4 rounds. Nefertari, because when triggered, she prevents the enemy from gaining MP for 4 rounds. Yang, because he reduces the enemy's MP, and also does quite a bit of damage. Hades would also work, but my Yang does 528 damage, and plus increases allies' attack by 35% for 5 rounds. Whereas Hades only does 360. And it's more for healing and HP restoration. So I prefer Yang. Vriska. And then for the final position, I choose Nezha and not Medusa, because Medusa's special skill is Petrify, and the enemy is immune to Petrify. Let's see, I've got my Vriska is 350, 6-star plus 6, which most of my accounts have, because of his stamina reduction for health fortresses and such. Very handy, and so I tend to focus on getting him up as quickly as possible. That means I can swap mine out for Jovi's and challenge. Now, green enemy, so we want to focus on red gems. We've got 2 heroes that do multiple rounds of damage, so we want to focus on their red gems. But we also need to make sure that Nefertari and Yang are ready to go before the 10 rounds of silence are up. See, silent, unable to cast for 10 rounds. And this is also where you can see that these guys are immune to stun and petrify, and also to silence and Lyra's poison. So, let's go ahead and do that red. Since it's on the outskirts, that gets double MP. And then, if I do this red, that'll also get that yellow. And then again, combos. Because if you do combos, it increases them. You can see the attack is like 1.2, 1.4. Next important thing to note. Nezha renders a target ignited for 5 rounds. That's what it says. Whereas for Vriska, it says all foes take poison damage for 6 rounds. That's what it says. Unfortunately, that's not actually what happens. Instead, they both inflict burning damage. And because they both inflict the same kind of damage, they don't stack, they're not consecutive. That's the wrong word. They're not concurrent. Instead, they replace. So I hit Nezha. And you can see that there's now receiving 180 burning damage for 5 rounds. So next I hit Vriska. And now 272 burning damage for 6 rounds. So it's usually, unless you have a very high Nezha, like Pima's, and even then, while his Nezha gave a little more damage per round than my Vriska, it was still 5 rounds for Nezha versus the 6 rounds for Vriska. So in general, Vriska is always better to do second. Onwards, we still have 7 rounds of silence, so still time to get Nefertari and Yang. So of course they're not giving us any greens or yellows. So we'll go with this blue. That was nice. We now have Nefertari. So now let's see about getting Yang. Excellent. All right. So now I can focus on getting more red. That might not have been the smartest choice. I think I'm going to go ahead and trigger that gem and see how it opens stuff up. All right, focus on red. You can see there was a little, I forgot to point that out, there's a little dot thing. That was Nezah's exploding thing. And it just went off. So, let's see. Oh, we've got an opportunity for a 5 combo for Nefertari. How many rounds of silence do we have left? 2 rounds of silent. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Normally I try and save yellow gems until after she's triggered so that she can be rebuilt quickly, but at that point there was too good a chance that other combinations might take some of those away, so we'll go ahead and get her. And then we'll go ahead and do these greens. Alright, the bar has turned blue. He is ready to strike. So this is where we hit Yang. And it only matters for this first time. You have to save Yang for this first time. But after that, you can trigger him whenever his ability is ready. Nefertari to keep it from rebuilding. And then, while you don't have to trigger a 5-star gem, the pretty shiny thing, by putting it in a group, it's better to do so if you can, because then the successive attacks are combos. Whereas I believe if you trigger it on its own, then it doesn't give you that combo bonus on the next ones. Anyway, Nefertari's ready to go, so I don't need to worry about her. So I can focus on getting the reds. Yes, we got Nezah and Vriska back. So they're doing their thing. And no reds. I guess we'll do some greens. There's some reds. Okay, and I forgot to point out the blue thingy. I'll do it now. Because, alright, we got still doing burning damage. Alright. So when her ability is triggered, you can see this blue thing. Stop that. Oh, you know. There. Can't receive MP for 4 rounds. And then we've got the black thing that is Nezah's explode. The fire symbol for the burning damage. And then this blue thing with the red X, that is the can't receive MP. So we have, we want to try and get Nefertari ready to go again before that disappears. Which may be a little difficult because they're not being very generous with their yellows now. Alright, so ooh, we can get more damage there. Okay, shooies. I don't think we're going to do it. Alright, we do have... No, we're too far. We're not even halfway there. I'm still going to try, but I don't think... Yeah, we didn't get it. So now it's time to trigger Animus. Not that, it doesn't matter too much since both Vriska and Nezah's burning damage rounds have ended. It would have been nice to get those up again. But still, while we can't do any more special attacks, we can still get damage simply by hitting with the right colored gems. It'd be nice if I had more where I was able to hit them all on them, so that they were all doing damage. And since at other times I would probably get this 5 gem. If you look at the left side, the first 3 columns, we could get a 5 blue. But Animus, his immunity is just ended. The next hit will take him out. So I need to focus on something that will actually give me, was 100% sure to give me points, which looks to be the yellows at the top. 1.2 million, almost 1.3 million in damage, and that's how I do it. I'm not sure how others, if others are just luckier, or if they have, particularly when it comes to people in other alliances, if they just have heroes that are that much stronger or what. But that's pretty typical for me. Over 1 million, unless I get really lucky. So that's how it goes. Good luck.